Hello everyone. So today I want to talk about meditation specifically with breathing, mantra, and visualization. So starting off, you want to invest in a meditation cushion. So usually a circular one is best. It's the one that I use every day. Should only cost you about 20 bucks, 30 at most, but I'd highly recommend investing in one of those. You can also use a very thick pillow, just as long as it's pretty thick and really keeps you at least a little bit off the ground when you're putting all of your weight on it. But once you have your cushion or your meditation pillow, you want to put the two bones in your butt, that kind of underneath each butt cheek, you want to put that at the edge of the cushion, at the edge of the pillow or cushion. So you want those two bones there, right on the edge, and you want your tailbone a little bit further in, of course. But when you look down, you should see yourself covering about half the meditation cushion or three quarters, depending on how big your butt is. But you want your posture to be focused towards the edge of the cushion or pillow, and because you don't want to be feeling like you're falling back. You want to be feeling like you're leaning forward just a little bit. Now, also keep your spine erect. It doesn't have to be, as erect as you can get it to where it's bringing your chin up, but just loosely and comfortably erect on the edge of that cushion. Now, when you close your eyes, and you can keep your eyes a little bit open, but usually in the West, we like to close our eyes completely. For some reason in the West, we tend to find that more comfortable. But when you have your eyes closed, before you get to this next part, start to get the feel for how your breath is operating. Breathe in very slowly, in and out. Now, to regulate breath during meditation, you don't want to hold your breath per se, but you want to slow everything down. So when you're breathing in, then kind of hold, and breathing in a little bit more, and then slowly out, and then leave the breath out for a little while before breathing back in. You don't want to be closing your trachea or completely closing your esophagus or anything like that to keep the air in or out. You want to leave that open and just kind of let it hang one way and the other. When you have all the breath in, just breathe in a little bit more and then breathe out. Then hold out and breathe in. But it should all be very slow. You should regulate your breath very, very slowly. And then in again. So once you have your breath feeling like you're pretty consistent, you might even want to count where you're breathing in for 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, and breathing out for 4 or 5 seconds. Holding for 1.5, 2 seconds. And that holding is just when it's in or when it's all the way out. You might want to hold. So once you have your breathing down, you might think about mantras. Now, a very simple mantra to do is the so hum technique. So in your head, and then you can say it with the back of your tongue, the very back of your tongue. Usually when we're thinking words, we might actually move our tongue. We might move the very back of our tongue even when we're just trying to say them in our head. But try to just say it in your head, and if the back of the tongue's moving, that's okay. But try to say it just mentally. So the so hum technique is so mentally, and then hum. But you want to draw out the word mentally for the full period of the breath. So draw out so and hum. Just say it mentally, but every time you breathe, coordinate your breath with that mental mantra. I used so hum for a long time. Now I kind of have a mantra, a Diksha mantra that I'm not supposed to tell everybody from my guru, but I'll give you another easy one. Om Kali. So to hold out Om, like A-U-M, Om Kali. You can do that. You can coordinate with just 2 words in a mantra. You can do much longer mantras like Om Ganapataye Namaha Om, and then repeat. It can be 2-word mantras or 3-word, or as many as you want. But you can look up mantras, whichever feels naturally to you, but coordinate that with your breath. Now, if you want to try visualization. Visualization is difficult when you're first starting out. It's beneficial in allowing you to focus and hone your mind. So the breath and the mantra exercise, and keep in mind you're just trying to think that, you're not trying to think about anything else. That allows you to gain better control over your mind, better control over individual thoughts, and kind of feeling yourself behind the thoughts. With visualization, it is about focus. It is about basically enhancing your mental acuity. And the ability to visualize doesn't come as naturally as you might think, because when we're thinking about memories, when we're remembering things, it's in flashes and we don't really realize it's in flashes, or everything's sped up, or everything's moving as we remember things. But with visualization, you want to visualize a fairly stationary object, or a fairly stationary flame. So what I use when I'm using my mantra and working with my breath, using the mantra, and then I will visualize just the very tip and the flame of a candle, and maybe the very top of the wax of a candle, and then the wick, and then the flame. And now, if you're better at visualization, you can do all kinds of stuff with the flame. But starting out, and an easier meditation is just to view that flame just barely alive and barely moving. Now remember, something that you can maintain is more valuable than something like an elaborate scene that you're trying to picture. In more complicated forms of, let's say, Buddhist meditation, you're picturing very specific Buddhas in different postures and very specific items in front of them. I would not worry about all of that starting off, or trying to picture something as big as like a scene or a landscape or anything like that. Focus on one small image and trying to maintain that image in your mind. If you want to get more complicated with it, as you breathe in, the flame can go up, and as you breathe out, the flame can go down. Now, it may be hard initially to coordinate your breath, the mantra, and visualization. That's why I say visualization is something you can just add in. But if you're going to visualize something, it should be something like a candle flame. It can be something like a lotus, a flower, or it can be like a guru, like Sri Ramakrishna, or Paramahansa Yogananda, or Kriyananda, or Vivekananda. If you want to just imagine a picture of one of these gurus and just try to focus on the picture, not moving, almost like it's just a static image, like you can look at a picture beforehand and just hold that in your head and try to focus and keep that image there. That's also, as I would say, easy, but also as useful as a candle flame, or a lotus, or a flower of some kind. Now, you also hear gurus say, visualize this image, like Paramahansa Yogananda, or Swami Sri Yukteswar, or Vivekananda. Visualize them at your heart, or at a part of your body. I used to visualize a flame. I'd visualize the flame going up, the candle flame going up as I breathed in, and down as I breathed out. And I would visualize that at the bottom of my spine, at basically the coil of Kundalini. And I would visualize it there, and then in and out, where you kind of feel it in that part of your body, but you're placing that visualization in a weird kind of feeling way at that part of your body. I wouldn't start off with that either. But if you want to visualize the flame, or a guru, or a spiritual master in your heart, that is also very useful. Now, keep in mind, when you're breathing, the positioning of your palms actually affects how your lungs expand. So I always have, recently, I have my palms up, and the back of each hand is kind of resting on my thighs. I would say between my knee bone and my thighs. But you want everything to be really loose, and you want them to be resting there. You don't have to be holding them there, because you're focusing on, breathing, mantra, and visualization. So you shouldn't be focusing on any kind of tension in your body. If you feel an itch, or if you feel any kind of tension, then try to just allow that to pass by. Allow that to go out of your mind, and just focus on the visualization, or just focus on the mantra and the breathing. Mantra and breathing are big at the beginning. Just get those two down, and try to force any thoughts or association with any part of your body out of your mind. And when you're forcing things out of your mind, allow them to just pass. Don't try to necessarily force them, but one-pointedly focus on breath and mantra. Try to allow everything else to pass out of your mind and refocus yourself every time your thoughts go astray, because they will go astray a lot in the beginning and even later on. But as I said, the way you have your hands on your knees or on your thighs kind of affects how your lungs expand. So my lungs and how I meditate, I usually have my hands like this, and it helps my lung expansion. If I turn them over and have my hands on my knees facing down, that tends to not allow me to breathe as well. It's a little bit different for everyone, and you'll kind of figure out how your lungs specifically operate over time, but I tend to have my hands like this, and once again, back straight. But the most important thing is to do this regularly. So how do we start out doing at least something like 10 minutes a day? I'd meditate for 16 minutes a day. I used to meditate for 20 minutes a day. Ideally, you should meditate for 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night. That's what you should kind of work up to. But until then, you might just want to meditate for 10-minute periods. So how do we keep track of that? Now, I recommend putting an alarm on your phone and putting the volume down very low and just having a very peaceful alarm and just set it for 10 minutes. Have your phone sitting beside you, maybe even hooked up to a charger so that the screen stays open. But just set it for 10 minutes and hit the button, and then rest into your meditation posture and breathe and start saying the mantra. So if you want to set your alarm to 5 minutes, if you want to start with 5-minute sessions, then that's good too. Maybe you want to do 3 sets of 5 or 2 sets of 5. Or maybe you just want to start out with 15 minutes and do 1 set of 15 minutes and just try to allow yourself to get the feel of this and do it every day, because it's very important to do it every day, because you do make progress every day in meditation. Now, whatever kind of progress you make might not be clear at the beginning, but over time you'll start to see how much more clear your mind is, how much better at just focusing on the mantra and just focusing on the breathing that you get. But it's gonna be a few weeks of every day before you start to see progress of just allowing yourself to calm your mind, because the mind does not naturally want to be calm. It wants to be racy, it wants to think about multiple things, it wants to review your day, or it wants to think about worries that you have for the day. So it's very important to just do it every day. No matter what you do it every day. Now, if you want to keep a little journal where you put down the date and then you put down how many minutes, that's also useful. So at the end of the meditation, you can have a little journal that you have and write down the date, how many minutes, and put like a slash or something like that, so that you have a meditation journal that you get to see how many days that you meditated in a row and for how long, and you can kind of track your progress. But it's really important to make it a routine, make it into a daily habit, so that you end up actually making progress instead of just doing it once or twice and then putting it aside. Now, I usually do my meditation after puja, which is, puja means worship, and I've been worshiping Ma Kali for a while now. But if puja isn't something that you do, if worship isn't something that you do, you might want to pray before you meditate. Do something spiritual, light a candle, light some incense, or simply just pray to God right before you meditate. Because you kind of want to pair these activities together with something else. If you just want to do meditation, that's fine, but pairing it with other spiritual activities becomes a part of your day that you look forward to, and you feel like is a different part of your day than just another part of the day. That's why it's good to pair spiritual activities like puja or prayer, usually before meditation. So it kind of sets your mind or sets your intention, if you will, but that's incredibly useful as well. At any rate, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them down in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody. Like this video if you thought it was interesting at all, or if you want to help out the channel. And feel free to share this wherever you like. At any rate, I hope this helped, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day.